Once again, they said I had to wait till the end of the show to drink. It's Cinco de Mayo, a big holiday in the U.S., but contrary to popular opinion, not so big in Mexico. The 5th of May is the anniversary of the Mexican Army's victory over France at the Battle of Puebla during the Franco-Mexican War in 1862. Now that the history lesson is over, let's do some drinking. Beer and tequila sales hit a yearly high on this day. Last year, beer sales on Cinco de Mayo topped more than $600 million, beating both St. Patrick's Day and Super Bowl sales. Tequila sales have more than doubled in the last decade. Beverage consultant Brian Van Flandern joins us now. He's a top mixologist and best-selling author. He also recently created the cocktail menu for the relaunching of the Palm Court in the iconic Plaza Hotel in New York City. I think I'll hit that place right after the show. Brian, welcome to Rise Xchange. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
And thank you for bringing the drinks, as always. Before we get to them, though, we have to have a little bit of background and history here. Why is Cinco de Mayo so popular in the United States and not so popular in Mexico?
You know, it's funny, you go down to Mexico, it's only popular in the touristy areas for the Americans. It's, 1862 was a very minor skirmish where the Mexicans took over a French fort at the Battle of Puebla in 1862, as you mentioned. The thing was, the next day the French took it back. So the reality is the Mexican Independence Day is September 16th. And what happened was an American company, Corona, of course we all know Corona, it's actually a Mexican imported beer, but it's U.S. marketed based, and they set up a massive ad campaign and promoted the holiday.
It's almost a Hallmark holiday.
It's almost like a Hallmark.
And Corona has done very well. Oh, yes. But they sparked interest in other spirits. I was surprised to learn how popular tequila is. You know,
in 2003, annually in the United States, we were selling under $100 million of tequila. Now we're at 2015, over $2 billion annually in sales. What's happened is tequila's gone through this revolution, this renaissance, and it rivals some of the best whiskeys, some of the best cognacs in the world.
That's really interesting. So you're actually buying tequila for the quality of the tequila. You're looking for labels to do so. Do people drink tequila mostly straight, or do they mix it? And you're a mixologist, so I know you're going to have a bias on this one.
Well, at $2 billion, you got to figure it's a very versatile spirit. So yes, I mean, the margarita is the #1 ordered cocktail in North America. I think Americans are ordering 185,000 margaritas per hour in this country. It is the #1 most popular, and it's not vodka, it's not rum, it's tequila for the #1 ordered cocktail. And then you've got these great 100% agave tequilas coming out. You know, they have set up a denomination of origin. There's very specific growing regions.
Where is tequila made?
It's made in there's only 5 states in Mexico, but primarily in Jalisco, which is central Mexico, and it's broken into 2 geographies: the lowlands and the highlands. Very different geographies, very different terroirs, very different flavor profiles. And just in 10 seconds or less, there's 3 different types of tequila. There's Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo, and then now there's Extra Añejo. And the only difference is how long they've been aged in barrels, and usually American oak barrels, or reclaimed American whiskey barrels.
Interesting. Yeah. So they use reclaimed whiskey barrels. They do that for cognac, too, I think. Yeah. So, all right, so let's talk about the drink so we can drink it.
Yes, well, that's what we're here, right? So here we got a margarita. Now, traditionally, margarita is made with a cheap tequila, some lime juice, and triple sec.
Wow, this is good.
Thank you. Yeah, this is called a Tommy's margarita, originally created in San Francisco by a gentleman by Julio Vermejo. He says it's just 3 ingredients: fresh squeezed lime juice. Fresh is the key. And then we're going to be using
and by the way, it's interesting because limes are a third-party beneficiary, if you will, of this holiday.
Yes, we all remember last year limes quadrupled in price because the Mexican cartels came in and took over. They've dropped now that everyone's buying American, so go figure. But yes, fresh lime juice. Then we're adding agave nectar, which has become hugely popular in recent years. It's a sugar substitute. It has a lower glycemic index. It's healthier for you. And and it's made from the agave plant, the same plant used to make tequila. So it's a logical pairing. So you got the acid sugar, and then last is using higher quality tequilas. Today we're using Casamigos. This is George Clooney's new tequila. George Clooney and Randy Gerber. Usually when a celebrity endorses a tequila, you're like, oh, I don't know about that. But in fact, apparently George is a huge tequila fan.
And so he's been involved in the making of this?
Yes, and Randy Gerber, his partner, they're best friends. They own a house in Mexico together, and they got together and created a great tequila.
As a mixologist, does it either bother you, or do you grasp it as a challenge in explaining people why they should go for the top shelf material?
It's always a challenge, but in tequila, you truly get what you pay for. I mean, the cheaper stuff, we can get into different styles, but the bottom line is, the cheap stuff is called a miso, where they're adding 51% agave. The other is sugar cane or corn, and they're adding caramel and sugars. So that's why we get that wicked headache. If it says somewhere on the label,
so you get what you pay for literally the next day.
If it says 100% agave anywhere, exactly. If it says 100% agave anywhere on the label, 100% agave, you know you're dealing with a better quality stuff.
How important is this holiday to liquor sales overall?
Tremendously. As you just mentioned.
I was surprised that's as big as the Super Bowl.
Bigger than St. Patrick's Day, bigger than the Super Bowl. It's really become, as you said, a hallmark holiday that's it's a way to celebrate. And obviously, we want people to drink.
In the middle of the week, though.
Yes, yes. We want to drink responsibly. That's key. But yes, it's become a drink.
Take the subway home, as we learned. Brian Van Flandern, thank you so much. This is fun.
Always a pleasure.
All right.
Cheers.
Coming up on the Rise Exchange tomorrow, why divorce rates rise with a better economy. And it's the attorneys cashing in. Let's take a look at the markets once again. Red arrows across the board. I'm Andrew Schmertz. Thanks for watching the Rise Exchange. Have a good evening, everybody.